Welcome to my channel, Sunshine Shoulders. I'm Calvin. I want to say good morning to my subscribers in the Philippines. Good evening to my subscribers in America and beyond. It includes, my viewers in England, Australia, Ireland, Finland. Man, thank y'all so much for stopping by. Special shout out to my new viewers and new subscribers. I really appreciate it. I would never take that for granted. Your kindness, your generosity, your support of my channel has really been amazing. And all I can do is continue to give my vlogs, as long as they're useful, as long as they're helpful. Most of my content is for the new man and woman who's never been here to the Philippines, but who's interested in coming here. And, my 11 years, almost 12, in April it'll be 12, doesn't make me an expert, but it does give me a unique perspective. I'd like to share that with you to make your trip here more enjoyable and above all things safer. I'm boots on the ground, in the center of all of this. I live among the locals and I'm always going to give you the nitty gritty. That's just exactly what I'm seeing, what I'm living, what I'm experiencing. I'm never going to sugarcoat that. It's not going to start today. Welcome again. I want to talk about this unseasonable cool weather in the Philippines today. Thus my title. Winter in the Philippines. I've been coming here in April, it'll be 12 years. This is the coolest it's ever been here. Yesterday I went to the grocery store. I was on the back of the motorcycle and trust me, I could have used a light jacket. My girlfriend, her family, they've gone crazy here. They've never experienced anything like this before. But my friends and I, man, we're happy, we're overjoyed. I talked to my friend John and I asked him, I said, man, how are you enjoying this cool weather? He said, I'm in heaven. He says, this is the first time in 2 years since I've been here that I haven't had to turn on my air conditioner or fan. And he's a big aircon man. He loves his air conditioning. He runs it 24 hours a day. So that would tell you. And, when people ask me all the time, they say, Calvin, what's the best time to come to the Philippines? I always tell them, come from August to February. And I didn't even know that there's something going on in the Philippines from January and February, some word that they use about cool temperatures. But I tell you that for a couple of reasons. Number one, your plane ticket is going to be cheaper. This is what I found out over the years because, see, the summer traveling season in America is ending, and so that's going to affect the price of your plane ticket. And then when you get here in February, between August and February, see, the summer time in the Philippines starts in March, so the ticket prices go way up. But another reason is it's the rainy season. You're already in the middle of the rainy season. The temperatures come down some. You get a real break in the morning and sometime around 5 p.m. on. So that's why I always tell people to come. But today and yesterday and the last few days, it's really been amazing. I've never seen anything like it. And just to tell you what a low to mid 70s in the Philippines feels like 40 degrees, it would be comparable to like 40 degrees in America. But another thing I wanted to address today, people always are asking me, where did I get the name Sunshine Shoulders? What is Sunshine Shoulders? Why Sunshine Shoulders? They ask me. And it's really, I'll give you a little context. I grew up poor in America. It wouldn't be considered poor here, but there, it was poor. My mother had to have a government assistance, food stamps, and back then, even your health care was paid for. They give you a medical card from month to month, and you use that medical card. It was her name and then all her dependents' name. That's what you use to go to the hospital or anything like that. And my mother also did day work back then, and day work was she was like the maid for rich folks out on River Road down in Louisville, Kentucky, or maybe out in the East End, Chenoweth Lane, and she would basically house sit. She would wash and iron the clothes, clean the house, cook the dinner, look after the dogs. You know, basically just house sit while the doctors or lawyers or whoever they were, businessmen, were not at home. And a lot of the women in my neighborhood, that's what they did for extra money to supplement that AFDC. But the thing about it is, I learned compassion from my mother because we never ever went without. I mean, the sacrifices she made was unbelievable. And sometimes I'd come home and there'd be whole families living with us. Yeah, I'm talking about, my mother had 8 children. And I remember coming home one time and there were 7 other children there. And you got to realize, my mother had no extra money, no extra job, but somehow she was able to get it done. I used to, during these times, I'd go to school in the morning, and I remember, I'd put in my mind, there was only 2 pieces of bread left in the loaf. I'd run home to try to get those 2 pieces of bread, man. But that's the kind of household I grew up in, man. And my mother she was like the babysitter of the community. I mean, everybody, all my sisters and brothers, all her grandkids, all the neighborhood kids, they would want my mother to watch the kids because they knew that she was going to take good care of them. So I grew up in a house of love, full of love and compassion. We didn't have a whole lot of money, but we never missed a meal. But remember, we had that, it was a rule in my mother's house. Whatever she cooked for dinner, you had to eat it. So if you didn't like pig ears or liver and all that other strange stuff my mother used to cook back then, I'm sorry, there was no, oh mama, can I fry some French fries or can I make a bologna sandwich? No, you either ate that or you went hungry. So that's kind of like a backdrop of what I grew up in. So I learned compassion, love and compassion from my mother. But Sunshine Shoulders came about during the pandemic. I was struggling, man, down in Zamboanga. I mean, I was really depressed. My anxiety had kicked back in. And I was in this little 6x9 room that I was staying in my mother-in-law's house. And the pandemic fatigue had really set in on me. And I heard the song by John Denver, sunshine, on my shoulders, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, man, I mean, it immediately took me out of that depression. Because the words in that song, man, are beautiful. I don't know when the last time you've heard it, but it has a lot of meaning, And those songs back in them days, see, I grew up in the 70s. Some of the best music ever created was created then. And I immediately got up, man. I immediately started back on my workout routine, and then I decided, I said, you know what? It's people around me who are suffering more than me. I'm going to give back. I'm going to help just like people used to help us when we were poor, when we were little. Because how many times did my mother have to put our name on the angel tree over in America? How many times did the Salvation Army have to make a special delivery to our house? See, I don't ever forget that stuff, guys. So I decided, I was going to take 1,000 pesos out of my savings every week and give it back, to struggling Filipinos who had lost their jobs, businesses were closing during the pandemic. And I said, well, why don't I just call it Sunshine Shoulders? Why don't I just spread a little love, a little joy, a little happiness into somebody else's life? See, because I stopped drinking 22 years ago, and they told me that the people who helped me stop drinking, they said, help with another suffering person when all else fails, that saves the day, And I remembered that, man. And so I started this, and and what I did was, it was early on with my channel, and I would, I told Filipinos, I said, go to my channel and subscribe to be eligible for the drawing, because, the Philippines, they like to get involved. They like to do something. They really don't want you to just give them any money. So I gave them something to do. And every week, from about the last week in July until now, I've done that. Just giving back, trying to help, trying to be that little ray of light. And man, I'm going to tell you, in places where darkness only used to be. Some of the people I've helped, man, I'm going to tell you something. I'm gonna tell you, they live in conditions that you as a Westerner, you can't wrap your mind around. And when they get that 1,000 pesos, man, it's like a miracle. You know, that's why I'm making a video later. It's called A Miracle in San Carlos City, and I'm going to show you where I'm going to surprise a young single mother with a special child. We're going to surprise her with some groceries and, you know, some household items and things like that, you know, just to help her make it through the rest of the week. See, that's what Sunshine Shoulders is all about, you know. And that's why my channel is geared toward the new man and woman. Most of my information is to be helpful. Okay, it's to be useful. It's not to debate race, religion, politics. It's nothing divisive. Remember, I told you yesterday, you know, sometimes it's inspirational, sometimes it's motivational, sometimes entertaining. But most of the time, my channel is informative. But it's never negative, it's never positive. But out of that sea of depression in Zamboanga City, Sunshine Shoulders was born. And it's just gotten bigger and bigger and bigger, man, with your help, with your support. I mean, you wouldn't believe it now. You know, people don't even call me Calvin here anymore. They call me Sunshine Shoulders. And it's humbling, you know, because I never thought it would ever reach that many people. You know, I just wanted it to sort of be around the Zamboanga era because that's where I was seeing. You know, I lived in a little compound called Riverville, and people were really struggling. I mean, even without the drawing every week, I would go and, you know, buy groceries for people, you know, feed the kids during their meriendas, what they call it. It's like a snack time during the day, you know, and I'd spend 100, 200 pesos a day doing that. But I just grew up in a household where we were taught not to just stand around and watch other people suffer. See, and then I started reading Napoleon Hill and all these other books, and their secrets was really stuff my mother taught me growing up, stuff I just simply forgot. Okay, and they just reminded me. And that other program too, you know, when helping other people, you know, you help yourself. See, that's where I get that from. You know, that phrase is original to me, but the principle is, there's nothing original about that. Okay, I believe in something called the law of compensation, and it doesn't matter what your motive is for helping somebody. You know, that law will reward you 10 times, 100 times, sometimes 1,000 times your sacrifice. So, yeah, this Sunshine Shoulders is real, it's legitimate, it's from my heart, and it's to help people here who are struggling, who are less fortunate than I am. You know, because people got upset at me for using that word privilege yesterday on my video. I'm sorry to tell you that if you live in America, if you live in Britain, France, Australia, and you're native to that country, you're privileged. You come over here and you live for any considerable period of time, and you will realize how privileged you are. See, privilege is a broad term. It doesn't mean being rich. It doesn't mean being wealthy and being born with a silver spoon in your mouth. But yeah, we do have certain advantages over a lot of these other countries, a lot of other people around the world. So, you know, just let that sink in and, you know, stop wanting to argue and nitpick all the time, man. My channel is about helping people, and it's not going to change. It's going to be that way from now until it ends, you know. But that's just a little context about Sunshine Shoulders. You know, it was born out of frustration, out of anxiety, out of depression of mine. And I remembered what the program taught me. It said, you know, when you help somebody else that's suffering, you're going to help yourself. See, when all else fails, when you think about somebody else and what they need, okay, it's going to save the day. And that's what I turned to. I remembered that. And it saved my life. And I'm never going to forget it. And I'm going to keep on helping people as long as I can. But that's Sunshine Shoulders. That's how it came about. I heard the John Denver song. I said, man, wow, that's perfect. It's a perfect theme, you know. Because when I make other people happy, I'm happy. So thanks a lot for stopping by. I really, really appreciate it, man. Your kindness, your generosity, your support has allowed me to help more people. See, there's not a day goes by here in the Philippines that I don't help somebody. You know, and that's one thing I would suggest when you come over here, whether you're here for 2 weeks, 2 years, or the rest of your life. Help somebody over here, man. Somebody that's less fortunate. Okay, just if it's nothing but buying them 2 or 3 kilos of rice when you got something extra. Share your blessings. See, so if you're in America, it's getting late before you let your head hit the ground. Before you let your head hit the pillow. I'm sorry. Find somebody to help, man. If you're on one of them late grocery runs, beer runs, weed runs, you're just getting off second shift, you see somebody in the street, buy them something to eat, buy them something to drink, give them a couple of dollars. Stimulus checks, yeah, they're coming out, man. I got mine yesterday. I don't even know how I'm going to cash it. They didn't put it in my direct deposit like they should have. So I guess it'll just sit there until I find somebody to cash it. But that's not enough. We need each other. And if you're in the Philippines, it's about 10 o'clock in the morning. So we have all the rest of the day to find somebody to help. Remember, I told you the pandemic wiped out at least 10 million jobs. I'm right here, boots on the ground. I see the suffering. See, that's why Sunshine Shoulders was born. See, to give back, to help. Because I'm going to tell you something. These people are taking good care of me. They treat me like I'm one of their own. 11 years, 12 years in April, not one speck of trouble. Nothing even resembles trouble. Nothing but love from the Filipinos. So I'm just giving back, all right? Because it's very, very important that we find somebody to help here. Because if I don't know anything else, I know this one thing for sure. We help other people, we help ourselves. Take care, stay safe, stay COVID free, and I'll see you next time. Look for that video where we're going to shock this young lady, you know, and normally I do things anonymously, but Filipinos, they like to see that kind of stuff. Okay, it gives them some joy. They're able to live through that person and sort of be that person and sort of, you know, bask in that person's happiness. Okay, so I'm not doing it to brag or boast or anything like that. Thank you so much. Take care. I'll see you next time.